Hey guys, my name is Fletcher Nelson. I'm a third grade teacher in Minnesota. I'm going into my 8th year teaching, and today I am here with advice for first year teachers. This is the most common question I'm asked on Instagram and TikTok is, what advice do you have for new teachers? So I'm gonna go through today and I'm gonna have 12 tips and they will help you out no matter what grade level you teach. If you're a current teacher and you have other advice that I forgot, because obviously I can't get everything in one video, leave it in the comments so they can read through there and get some more words of wisdom. So here we go. Tips for new teachers. Now these tips are in no particular order, so I'm just gonna start rambling off some of these tips that I have for you. So my first tip is to find a mentor or a coworker you can go to for any questions you have. A lot of schools will provide you with a mentor and they will be assigned to come and observe you and answer any questions you have. So that's awesome if your school does that. If not, just find a coworker, somebody on your team or a room close to yours that you can go to for any little question you have. My first year, I was in a really small school. I was the only 5th grade teacher. Actually, I taught 5th and 6th grade, and I had them combined. And I would go to the 4th grade teacher and the 3rd grade teacher for every little thing. I had that relationship with them right away, and it really helped me, even with little things like, hey, what do I do? Or like, how do I request a day off? Stuff like that. Or if you have questions for a lesson you're planning or a classroom management question, just have someone you can go to no matter what question you have, and don't be afraid to ask questions. This is the first year that you are going to be a teacher. Every year you learn and grow, and you need to ask those questions. You need to have them. So if you have a mentor, that's awesome. If not, find somebody you're comfortable with going to for all those questions you may have. And like maybe bring them like a candy bar or a coffee every once in a while to show your appreciation. All right, tip number 2. This is a tough one. Set boundaries. As a first year teacher, you're gonna feel like you're drowning. You're gonna feel like there's always a ton of stuff that you need to do, and there is, but you need to set boundaries. A lot of first year teachers will end up staying super late and getting there early, and they just burn themselves out. You need to make time for yourself and realize that in the scheme of things, this is just a job. You can't do everything, and you're gonna have to realize that some assignments you might not grade, or a committee that you're asked to be on, as much as you want to participate, you can't put all that on your plate. You need to set those boundaries, and it's not easy to do. And you really just got to manage your time as well. I have some more tips that will kind of help you out there as far as like lesson planning, but you got to set those boundaries right away. You can't live at school, otherwise you're gonna burn yourself out in no time. All right, my third tip kind of goes with setting boundaries, and that's gonna be plan with people when possible. Whether if you're an elementary teacher, try to plan with somebody on your grade level team, or if you all plan together to your PLC, or if you teach middle school, like plan with another teacher on the math department or science department. But try to do that just because it's your first year working with the curriculum, so like pacing wise, you're not always sure of how quickly you need to go through things. You have questions on how to assess or activities to do. You can see what they've done, and for this first year, you're really just gonna be trying things, and you'll remember what you like and what you don't like, and you can always make changes if they or kind of go off of what they are doing. But try to plan with them, that way they're there for the questions that you have, and they can kind of give you some suggestions of what they've done in the years past. And that will help you as far as like for setting boundaries, because you won't be at school all night, because you're not just creating everything new, you're kind of going off of what your coworkers and team have done in the past. So if it's possible, plan with them, that way you just, again, are there able to ask questions and can kind of get some ideas from them. And also when you're feeling comfortable, you can share your ideas with them as well, because even though you're a new teacher, you did things in college and student teaching and you have some great ideas, so be willing to share them with your team as well. All right, tip number 4 is to be coachable. Again, it's your first year teaching. If you think about it, this should be, it sounds weird, but like your worst year. Every year you learn something new, you reflect, you get better. You've never had your own classroom before, so you need to be coachable. Whether it's your mentor that's coming in to observe you or your principal, listen to their feedback and be coachable and try the things that they're suggesting. It's huge. I mean, like I said, like somebody else is watching you. They're gonna see things that you don't notice. They're gonna have some great ideas. Now, will everything that they suggest work for you and your teaching style? No, but be coachable and be willing to listen to what they say. Don't just brush it off, and don't take it personally, because they're just trying to help you become the best teacher you can be. And sometimes, especially your first year, it can be kind of overwhelming hearing things that you maybe need to improve on or could have done better. But just remember, every year you're gonna get better and improve, so just maybe focus on a couple of things and really try to work on those, because if you try to fix everything at once, it's just gonna, be a mess. But be coachable, be willing to listen, don't take it personally. All right, tip number 5, build relationships with your students. Now, some people get this confused and they're like, you're not supposed to be their friend, you know, whatever. Yeah, but they need to like you. You need to know them and they need to know you. You need to take time at the beginning of the year to build those relationships. If they come in first day and you just put them to work and you know nothing about them, they're not gonna respect you as the year goes on. You're gonna have behavior issues. It seems a lot of people, or not a lot, some people think that it's a waste of time to get to know your students to build these relationships, but it's not. It's gonna help you in classroom management. It's gonna help, they're gonna work harder for you. Rita Pearson has an awesome TED Talk and she says straight out, kids don't learn from people they don't like. And think about all of your least favorite teachers. You probably didn't not like the subject, you didn't like the teacher, so you didn't learn much from them. And I bet your favorite class teachers, maybe they wasn't your favorite subject, but you liked them, so you're willing to work harder. So you need to get to know your students, whether you teach kindergarten or 12th grade, and you need to let them get to know you too. Build those relationships. It is gonna be essential as the year moves on. Tip number 6 is to stay connected with families. Now, I teach elementary, so I have the same class all day, so I use an app to stay connected with them all the time. If you're looking for one, something like Class Tag is amazing. It's free. You can send pictures and videos of what's going on in your class. It'll translate to different languages if you need. You can get your conferences scheduled. You can ask for volunteers, and you actually earn rewards just by using that app. And it's amazing. Parents can choose whether they want to receive messages through the app, to their phone, through text, or through email. So it's a super easy way to stay connected with families. High school, I know you would have a ton of students. So maybe you would just choose to make a couple and make some good phone calls about positive things they did, or send some emails, or just sending out a generic email about what you're gonna be learning so they are involved and kind of know what to ask their child about at home, about what went on in class. But staying connected to families will be huge, especially if you ever have a reason to call home for something that didn't happen. It's always better when you've reached out and have talked to them about a positive thing that went on in class, and the first interaction they're having with you isn't you telling them something that their child got in trouble for. So stay connected with families, find yourself an app. Like I said, Class Tag is an awesome one. And it's free. It makes it easy for you. That brings us to tip number 7, and that's to focus on your routines and procedures right away from the beginning of the year. Really, nail them down so your kids know exactly what to expect when they come into your room and they know how things are gonna work. This is super helpful both on yourself. It's gonna help with your classroom management when you have clear expectations and clear routines on how to do things, but also when you have a sub, the kids are gonna know what to do and they can help out the sub because it's what you do every single day. It's not always fun to practice these things at the beginning of the year. So I usually will practice routines and procedures, or talk about them and practice them, and then we'll do like a STEM challenge, and then we'll practice them again, and then we'll go outside. It's like I said, it's not always exciting to practice, but it's super, super important for the rest of your year. It really does set the foundation for it, just for yourself and for any subs you have in the room. All right, tip number 8, save your money. You're a new teacher. Teachers don't get paid a lot in general. And especially when you're at the very top of the pay scale, and by top, I mean like bottom, like you're not making very much, save your money. Don't feel pressured to buy all the stuff you see on TikTok and Instagram or YouTube. Don't be tempted to spend all your money on the Target dollar spot or on Amazon. You will accumulate things over the years. As teachers retire or move, they'll leave stuff behind. Just don't go spending all your money on stuff for your classroom, okay? Donors Choose is a great option. Amazon wish lists are a great option. Garage sales, thrift stores, asking family and friends like, hey, do you guys have any Legos or this, that type of stuff laying around that you don't want anymore, or any old books. So just be really hesitant on how you spend your money on your classroom. Now, you're gonna have to spend some money at some point, I'm guessing, but just don't go start buying all the stuff you see. Try to save your money, okay? You don't need it. Also, if there's something that you really want, like I'm not shaming people who have spent money in their classrooms because I have too, but I'm just saying, think about it first and just don't be buying every little thing you see. Just really think of, is this gonna be beneficial to my students? Is it gonna be beneficial to me? And make sure it's gonna be something useful that you will actually use and doesn't just sit there. We're almost there. Tip number 9 is to observe other classrooms. I know in my current district, our first year, and actually I think our first 3 years, we were given a half day to go observe other classrooms. And if you were given this opportunity, or ask your admin if you can, do it, because you learn so much from watching other teachers. And even if it's not the same subject you teach, or for me, the same grade level, you learn different strategies for classroom management or for introducing a lesson. Technology, you'll learn new websites or just different ways to transition between subjects. You learn so much by your coworkers. So find opportunities to go observe in their classrooms, even if it's for 10, 15 minutes and then hop to another one. You will learn so much and it'll be so beneficial to you. So definitely see if you can go observe some other teachers in your school. It'll help you a ton. All right, my 10th tip kind of ties into routines and procedures, but my 10th tip would be to have a consistent schedule each day. Kind of like with your routines, and your kids come in and know exactly what they're doing. But it's gonna be really good for your kids when they just know what's coming. They know what subjects after lunch. They know what you're doing after they get back from music and gym. They know what they're doing the first 5 minutes they get into your room. They don't come in guessing and unsure what to do. So when you have that consistent schedule each day, it really helps your students. And again, it helps with the sub too, because they just know the schedule already. It's not gonna be something completely random that throws them off. Obviously, there's gonna be some things that come up in your schedule or the school schedule, so things get thrown off. But just in general, there should be a typical schedule you're sticking to each day so your kids know exactly what to expect when. All right, tip 11 to 12. Again, I feel like this kind of connects with one of the earlier tips, but this one's you can't do it all. You're gonna feel kind of pressured as a new teacher, like if you get asked to be a part of a committee or do something extra, that you should say yes. And I understand that, but you can't do it all. You just can't. And this also goes into your classroom too. Like, you are gonna see people doing maybe some over the top things or playing like some review games or room transformations or just thematic units or project-based learning things. Just know that a lot of those people have been doing it for many years and they've been collecting those items or they've been tweaking the lessons, and you don't need to go out and do all the things you see your coworkers doing. It's okay to say no to committees, and it's also okay to just do your own thing for your lessons. I have a coworker, Casey, she's awesome. And she puts on this play every single year, a different play, and like her kids are so into it and they love it. They memorize their lines, they have these props, and it's always amazing. And this last year kind of felt like I should be doing that because it's so cool. And my kids are always love going to watch, and afterwards like, why don't we do that? And I almost did it with her this year. I was so close. And I'm so glad I didn't, because that's just not my thing. I can do readers, theaters, and shorters play, but that whole big production, it just doesn't fit into who I am, and it's not something that's gonna bring me a ton of joy. I love watching her do it, but I know how much work she puts into it. So it's just an example of like not having to do it all. It's okay to have the things that you're comfortable with and that you're doing those in your classroom. And honestly, every classroom's different, and that's the beauty of it. Otherwise, school would be boring if everyone was the same. So you don't have to do it all when it comes to committees or lessons or anything. Just do what you're comfortable with. And tip number 12, which again ties really well into all the tips I feel like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't. Tip number 12, have fun. If you are not having fun teaching, your kids are not gonna be having fun learning. Make sure you're enjoying yourself. Make sure you're enjoying your kids. Like I said, get to know them, laugh with them, play games with them, joke with them. You have fun, your kids are gonna have fun, and it's gonna be a great year. Just remember, you're gonna get better every single year. You're gonna reflect in your first year and be like, ooh, I did that, but that's okay. You learn and you grow and you get better every single year. Your kids are never gonna forget you. You're never gonna forget them. So make the most of the time you have with them. I hope these tips helped. And like I said, if you're watching this and you are a teacher, leave other advice you have for them below. If you still have questions, let me know and I can make more videos or I can answer them in the comments, but I hope this helped. Have a great first year. Your students are lucky to have you. See you next time. Bye.